one piece of
Oh
food.
shit.
Oh, poop.
He's cleaning the dog kennels, and when he
can't
cleans
see.
them, he pseudo cleans them.
He figures
actually
out a way to
gets
take
them
5
ready
minutes of work
to-
and drag it out for 5 hours.
Oh, okay, so he's smart.
No?
No, smart would be
no.
not getting in trouble and finishing your job.
That's true.
That's like saying I was
trust
gonna
what you
I was gonna get this work done.
Like I give you
but I'm
chores.
smart, so I didn't do
If
it.
you do them, I stop giving you chores. If you fuck around, I just keep piling chores on you. Like I can come up with chores for fucking 24 hours a day. I can come up with chores. I'll stay awake to give you chores. If you just do what I asked you to do the first time, we'll just be over it. You can sit inside the nice air conditioning.
What are you drinking?
Amino.
That's
Yeah,
cotton
some
candy.
Aminos
It's
and
cotton
something
candy that was mixed in with something.
What's the cotton candy?
Well, it's the blue one. You got.
Oh, okay,
He
okay.
got more of those yesterday.
What's your favorite?
Well, I'm still working on the luscious lemonade,
Mm.
so I'm making my way through that. I do like 4 scoops to a gallon or something like
Okay.
that. Because I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Like I go to
Probably
bed
a couple gallons a day.
Yeah, about 2.
Well,
and then
you're
I
pretty
have
small,
like,
I mean, you need a lot of water.
and then I use a blender bottle and I put 2 scoops in just for my when I'm actually doing
Yeah.
a workout.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot more concentrated.
Yeah.
But,
Colin,
Yes.
come be on video. Did you just lose your breath?
no, he's making sure his hair looks good.
Sebastian, Colin, come here.
No, that definitely wasn't me losing my breath. I don't do that. Dad slapped my face plenty of times, and I learned my lesson early.
Lose your breath?
If someone does you do something, you're like.
Oh
The
yeah.
first time I did it to my dad, my face was stinging before I'd even lost all my breath.
You know what?
Or this. It's this. As soon as I would do the eye roll, it was oh boy.
Yeah, I had lots of stretch collars from that because if I went like that.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Or if I said this,
Uh-oh.
this word, whatever.
Oh, shit.
Oh man.
I knew better. I never even crossed that line. Never even crossed that one. I told him no at the dinner table one time. But I was actually on my back looking at the ceiling before, and Dad didn't even skip a beat. He was like,
And the next day we had to fix the wall I fell through.
That's pretty big though.
yeah, he is.
Yes, he is.
6'2".
He's like 6'230",
Yep.
and he's 66.
Wow.
He was
fucking big.
at
man.
one point because Dad worked for sheet metal all his life. And he's still his hands, each of his fingers are the size of 2 of mine together, and his hand is double the width of mine. Like, he is a big person. But all the people on that side of the family are like that. But at one point, from just all the sheet metal he cut, because he made, they did VC, so they did everything there. They constructed everything. But his fucking forearms, dude, they were so big, and I can just remember like wrestling with him and stuff, and he would just like grasp me, and then just like be doing something else. Like he would just mess with me. He was like just hold me at bay. Or he would like hold my hands like this. He would hold them and just laugh
You can't do
because
that.
I couldn't do anything.
Or push him down, and you go get up, just keep pushing.
That's
him
what.
down.
Whenever you play baseball.
Yeah.
You play baseball.
No.
Well, steel
My eyes
spikes.
crossed.
Steel spikes will stick into the ground.
Yeah.
And I'd mess with him, because I get it from Dad because it's not the way I am. But like his dad always picking at me, and I'd mess with him back, and he'd step on my cleat, push him down to the ground, and then shove me real hard up top, and I was like, but I was like in limbo. I couldn't fall backwards all the way, and I couldn't move forward. But that's okay.
Yeah, see, my dad was.
tough.
Yeah, he'd get home
That's
from
cool.
work, he'd be tired, and Mom would be like, "Here's the list. Here's what everybody did today. This is what you have to do for discipline." So he'd come in the room, and because we'd be punished, he'd pull out the thing out of his left shirt pocket, and be like, "All right, you hit your sister. All right, I'm gonna spank you 3 times. Come on, you know what the deal is." And he was like, "All right, if we're down here, I gotta go spank your brother now." So. It'd be like
awesome.
it'd be like that. It'd be like he'd just be like, "Man,
6:30, guys, come on in. We're gonna get your spankings." That's awesome.
That's the way it was, man. It
That's
was
very
never
cool.
like anger attached to it. It was
Yeah.
always just kind of like,
But you earned this.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
It's part of it.
that's awesome.
Nowadays, man, it's not the same. It is not the same. I taught lots of young kids music lessons back in Pittsburgh, and
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to choke some of them sometimes.
some of them I had to tell, like, I don't know what you get away with at home, but you're never
That's-
allowed to speak to me like that.
That's the thing is you see a different recourse between the two. It's true.
You've been in your video game world. You're in my world now. I
Yeah.
will fuck you up.
Yeah.
It's
So
ridiculous.
I was walking through Walmart Paris, and I'm not like a not friendly guy. I'm just not overly friendly.
You're not friendly.
In general, if I'm out doing something else, that's what I want to be doing. I'm not bothering me. I don't bother anyone. I don't speak to anyone.
We don't have a lot of
I say
time.
yes sir, no sir, I open doors and stuff like that. You know, I'm nice to old women and older men, all that stuff. Anyway, some kid, I guess he was 16 something, him and his buddy are walking through, and I was going through Walmart and I'm pushing my little buggy and I'm getting, you know, I'm doing adult shit. I'm buying my groceries, and he sees me and he goes, "Hola, amigo," with his buddy, and I went and looked over and he was looking at his friend. He goes, and like his like the smile faded from his face. I was like,
Motherfucker, I'm black!
Yeah, I just walked on and I was like, you know, like you're borderline age where like you just don't understand that.
If you were 18 or 19, I would hurt you.
Well, and like it was really more like a thing of like you just don't understand where that could get you. If you were in downtown Nashville and you did that,
Right.
Try that over in Memphis.
yeah,
Oh.
like you really don't know, and that's honestly that's like the parents' fault. You must think that it's okay to talk to people like that, strangers that you don't know. What if I had just had a shitty day? What if I just lost a dear friend and I was emotionally distraught and decided to lash out on you?
Right.
What if you just got out of jail for
Yeah,
attempted murder?
yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
just
know.
can't do that to strangers, and that's honestly part of the reason I don't mess with strangers.
Mm-mm.
Not because I'm blatantly disregard to all human race, but like everyone's got their own world they're doing.
People are crazy.
Yeah.
And they have no. You never know anything about anybody.
Yeah. You
That's
might
why I always have a gun and a knife.
Yeah. Well, and you might meet
Always.
all of us. You might meet one of us, or you might meet not one of us. Where like if normally
I mean, it
if
could
you
be
bump
as
into one of
simple
us,
as
we're like, oh, excuse me.
Dude,
whatever.
you can have a kid that just didn't take his freaking psychotic medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and he thinks the world is against him. He could be hallucinating. He could be schizophrenic. He could be 16 who took his dad's assault rifle or whatever, and it's gonna blow you up just like the movie theater thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
did
always
you see
something.
the thing
Could be
last
anything.
night with the kid? Apparently, the young kid who shot up the church in South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. I saw this.
So
on
check
Facebook.
it out. This is what I didn't know though. Apparently, he came in, sat in the pew for like an hour before he did anything,
And no one thought to go ask.
and then he
him
just
what-
all of a sudden just snapped and.
Yeah, I saw the
Never
post. I
know.
didn't see it, you know, 'cause I'm on TV, but I saw the Facebook
Yeah.
post about it.
Was it a rifle, pistol?
I don't know. I can't. I don't
I
know.
don't
what
think
it
they
was.
disclosed it yet, maybe, but
Yeah.
he evidently
He's still
shot
like that
him.
large, as far as I know.
Wow.
So.
It's like, what if that was the guy?
Right.
You said "Hola, amigo" to or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Does
like
that
he just
really
turns around
care?
and shoots you in the middle of Walmart and you're dead.
Yeah, I don't really care, but if you'd been a grown man, it was more like a shock value for me. I was like, you just really don't know where that could have gone. This is like an absence-minded type thing. But anyway, I don't know why that came to mind. I don't know what we're ranting about, but
So
that's
the aminos and
back to nutrition.
and intermittent fasting.
So I used to just drink branched chain aminos,
Right.
just
Just
leucine,
BCS.
isoleucine, valine, yeah. But yours has a bunch more in it.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah.
the thinking behind that?
So, well, that's a really good question. I don't want to make it too long for a video. But everybody knows about the amino acids. You know, there's a bunch of them. But out of and amino acids, for those of you who don't know, is just broken down protein. Amino acids make protein. It's not protein makes amino acids. Amino acids is protein, which you already know that. So, of all of them, you have essential aminos, which are needed for daily function. We cannot create essential aminos out of our body. We just can't. We have to ingest them. There's 8 of them. Now, of those 8, there's one of those essential aminos that is known people have allergy to. You know, and I removed that one from my formula. It's phenylalanine. If you look on Coca-Cola cans and stuff like that, it'll say contains or produced. That is the one of the essential aminos that you have people that have rare diseases that have a reaction to it. So that's the only essential that I removed. But then of the essential, so if you're looking at it as a chart, you have, let's just say 21 at the top. It breaks down to 8. Of those 8, 3 are your branch chains: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. So I have 7 of the 8 because I removed the allergy one, plus a higher dose of the 3. So you have the essentials and the branch chains. And I said, okay, these are the proteins we have to survive. Without these, it is freaking worthless. Because a lot of times people just branch chains because there wasn't a good product for years that had it all. And I thought, because you have to dose the branch chains to get enough of the leucine. Without 4 grams of leucine, you're really not doing anything as far as protein synthesis goes. So I said, okay, number one, I've got to make sure there's 4 grams of leucine per serving. I've got to make sure I have all the essentials and all the branch chains minus the 1. So I did all that. I said, okay, what else would make this better than anything? What one or 2 amino acids do we all need? And I thought, glutamine. The immune system, recovery, you know.
Most abundant.
The most that we're going to use.
Yeah.
So I added that. And I thought, okay, what would help get this stuff to the cells faster? Arginine. Well, I didn't want to just put plain arginine because I'd have to have a lot of it. So I used arginine HCl, which is a higher active version. Then something that goes hand in hand with arginine is ornithine. And again, I didn't want to use the plain L-ornithine because it's not as strong. So I used ornithine acetyl-glutarate, or AKG. I thought, okay, well, I need those. That's gonna vasodilate. That's gonna get it in the system faster. But through my years of training and with clients, I've had a little issue with people getting stiffness in their low back. Like you get the low back pump when you're squatting. You're like, oh, my low back's tight, stretch. Well, the only thing that prevents that is tyrosine. Tyrosine is good for blood flow, good for the brain. I thought, well, I'm gonna add a little tyrosine. So I added a little tyrosine, and basically, and citrulline malate because that helps with absorption of aminos as well. And there you have the formula. So we have all the essentials minus the 1 allergy. We power punch the branch chains because that's what's the most important. The leucine. Then we added in the glutamine, the arginine, the ornithine, the tyrosine, the citrulline malate, and you're getting all of that in the servings with no sugar.
Right.
And the flavor's freaking incredible.
Oh yeah.
It's
Flavor,
really hard to
consistency.
flavor those.
Is it?
Yes,
Why is
to
that?
make it just right. Well,
Yeah, because you
they're
get bitter real fast.
Amino acids are really
If you've
bitter.
ever had a bad one, you'll know.
There
It
is
took a
some-
few tries. I have a really good flavor.
Yeah, we got Amanda bought some BCCAs. That's the worst shit
Yep.
I have ever fucking tasted.
If you-
Ever. Like you can't.
It'll make
get
your
that
face
And it
taste
doesn't
out.
mix very well.
Yeah.
You'll get a bitter beer face from hell. If
And
you
there
ever
is
get some bad ones,
something.
you
There
will.
is something. When you mix, it's either this or the VO2 because I mix them both together.
It's the 187.
There's something in this. When you stir it up, when the cup's all gone, there's that little chalky shit in the bottom. Whatever that chalky shit is, it's the most bitter shit in
Yep.
the world.
So we use to prevent, and another problem was the mixability. So I use instantized, micronized and instantized. So we get the molecules as small as possible, but then we make them instantized in water. It's like instant coffee versus regular coffee. If you start instant coffee in hot water and regular coffee, there would be a huge difference. So we use that version of the aminos as well, so they uptake easier. And then what you're taking in the SF that settles is part of the ingredients that don't dissolve in water. You know, we have 22 ingredients in the SF because we have instant released, moderate released, and time released stimulants and nootropics. So we want brain function aside with, you know, stimulant for energy, because if you have one, you have a bunch of stimulants but no brain function stuff, it feel kind of funny. I don't know if you've ever drank just a shit ton of caffeine. Like if you took 10 Monsters and drank them all, or 10 cups of coffee, but there was nothing for brain function, you're like,
Oh yeah.
you're kind of panting and you're looking around because your brain can't keep up with the blood. So you put something in there to vasodilate the brain and make the brain work better, then you're even. And it don't crash. None of my products crash.
So Pepe's not making this at the Cobra Farm, obviously.
Oh, no.
They're
We
not.
spend a lot of money
You don't
on
have some
production.
dude with a coffee pot and some filters making this shit.
And and I'm the formulator behind everything. I don't contract out. I don't ask other people because personally I don't care. I haven't met anyone who understands all this stuff like I do. And I've tried. I've talked to guys. There's very few people that I'll even reference, and the only ones have PhDs. And I'll talk to them. I'll say, hey, here's my idea. What do you think? And they're like, holy shit, that's awesome. I met with 2 doctors last week. I have a formula coming out that is going to change the industry on longevity, fitness, health, and wellness. It's a very expensive formula. My lab told me, they're like, I don't think you should make this.
So the organ support stuff.
No, I've already got that. It's not for sale yet. But this is a product which I can't go into the ingredients yet. I'm looking in the next 2 months. But
You got a sample of it?
no, it's a pill. But I've got 2 ingredients in there that inhibit somatostatin, which is like the negative feedback of growth hormone. So if you take growth hormone by your doctor or any kind of natural growth hormone releasers, your body produces the somatostatin to help keep it from upregulating, because sometimes it's got to stop. Well, we want to inhibit that as much as possible naturally, so as we age, our growth hormone pulses are more powerful. Because growth hormone is the fountain. It's it.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody in the world was prescribed a moderate dose of growth hormone from the age of 20 up, not enough to create side effects like acromegaly, which that would be like the AIDS patient dose, which is crazy high.
What's acromegaly?
Growth of bones.
Okay.
And it would take...
facial bones, ears, nose.
Okay, so like old school body, but like using the old cadaver
Yeah.
stuff.
Now, and the only reason, I don't even think any of them got it. You may have had some that had genetic problems that got it. But to get that, you would have to take a month's supply in a day. Every day for years upon end. Now, I'm telling you, literally a whole month's supply of prescription growth hormone that your doctor gives you in a day. It's almost impossible to afford it unless you're talking $1,000 a day. If you can spend $1,000 a day on it, you might could get a side effect if you're genetically prone to it, or you'll just be really ripped and live a long time. Who knows? But
Be like
Well,
Tom
what
Hanks
I'm-
from Green Mile.
yeah.
I accidentally lived 200 years. Whoops.
What I want to do is I want to get this formula done because there's a couple of things on the market that have a similar ingredient, but they're dosing it at 1 to 200 milligrams because this one ingredient I want to use, which I'm not going to talk about, is very, very expensive. Like I told my lab, I said, I want a minimum of 500 per serving. They're like, nope, can't do it, too expensive. I'm like, yes, I can, and I'm going to. They're like, you're going to make any money, you're not going to be able to sell it, you're going to sell it for $120 a bottle to break even. And I was like, here's the deal. The people I know that want to live longer, live healthier, I'll spend 120. If I can live longer, live healthier, and look better. Because it's going to have stuff in there that helps reduce fat, helps gain muscle. It's just all around.
It's 120 a week, a month.
It'd be about 45 servings is what I'm trying to do per thing. So
That's really, and when you think about it, that's
Not
not
bad.
that bad when you're
Yeah.
talking about how much does the average person spend on booze in a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Way
exactly.
more, way more.
But this,
Because every time I walk in their hotel room when we go someplace, they've got that in there.
yeah,
Not Colin, but
No,
Colin drinks his wine at the table.
yeah, I don't.
Colin drinks fucking $100 glass of wine.
Oh, I know.
I buy it sometimes for him. I know
Yeah.
what it costs.
No, it's never that much.
Yeah,
It
yes,
was
it is.
1,000 glass.
Definitely.
So let me ask you this about the aminos.
Okay.
Are they calories or are they not?
Good question. So, are they calories that can store as fat? 100% no.
Right,
But are they calories as you ingest them? Yes.
because they're
But
can be
the-
used for energy.
They can be used. But are you ingesting enough calories that could put you in a positive balance? That's hard to say because per scoop, just so you'll know,
What's it matter? Where's it going?
per scoop you're looking at like 20 to 24 calories
What are we worried about?
per scoop.
How many?
20, really, it's technically 24, but the problem is you're going to almost use that many calories. Drink.
Just to
I
take
mean,
it.
taking it, mixing it up, shaking it, drinking it, or picking up the gallon of water, you're probably burning that.
So let me ask you this, because everywhere you look, like you take 10 branched chain amino acid supplements,
Right.
for example, off the shelf at GNC. 5 of them will probably list calorie content, and the other 5 will probably list calories as 0.
Yeah.
So like who says?
That just depends
what
what
they
want
have to
put
write
on
on
the
there.
label.
Yeah.
No, the FDA doesn't approve any of that shit. So
I use a lab that's CGMP certified by the FDA. So it has certified good manufacturing process, which you had to pay more for all that. And I have, every time something comes in, I get these sheets, these printouts. It tells me exactly what's in it. And then I'll take, like, usually they comes in cases of 12. So I'll pull one out of every third case. Then I ship that to a third party. And I remove the labels from those bottles. I completely take them off. And I say, hey, can you tell me what's in this? They're like, yeah, it'll be $500. I'm like, okay, here's my card. Tell me what's in it.
Interesting.
And then that's how I get mine tested.
Yeah, totally.
Does that give you another certification, qualification?
I mean, I could put something on the label, but I honestly do that for my personal mental health. My name is on every single bottle. And what goes out, I have to feel confident. So I get everything tested. And I could put a little thing, third party tested on the label. I guess that might help with marketing and sales, but I don't do it for marketing and sales. I do it so I can sleep.
You're fucking selling everything you make
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So technically, what you could say, since most people know that I do the intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
so technically, it's almost like, is it or is it not?
I count it. Okay, so I don't know if I told it on camera, but I do have clients that do intermittent fasting. I call it intermittent fasting with anabolic pulsing because aminos are anabolic.
Right.
And so we pulse aminos during the fasting window because we're still fasting. It's kind of like the people that do the intermittent fasting, but they do the coffee with the MCTs in the morning.
Right.
Well, that's calories. So
Right.
you're not
Actual
fasting.
actual calories.
And that's
we're
actual
talking about
calories.
MCTs.
Yeah, that's a fat.
Right.
But it can't be stored as a fat
Right.
because it's man-made. Or if you use coconut, but still you can't. It burns. It burns as a carb.
Okay.
But protein don't burn as a carb.
So it's almost like you could say modified, maybe modified fasting.
Yeah. More. I call it more like educated fasting.
Right.
Because anybody who just literally just fasts on water and nothing else, and then eats that one like the 4-hour window,
Right.
they're missing out.
Well, yeah.
You're not getting what you're supposed to get out of intermittent fasting. That is not how it's supposed to work.
And beyond that, like actual health standpoint,
Yeah.
not truly healthy.
Yep.
Where-
But if you slept
where-
all day, I guess it
Yeah.
wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're like, okay, I'm gonna fast,
for 8 hours
and
while sleeping,
yeah.
because then you'll be resting and you wouldn't use.
Or if
them.
you slept 16 hours,
Yeah,
well,
what if I
16 hour
sleep 12
fast on
hours on
sleep.
Saturday?
Well, you don't need the aminos, I guess.
Right. No, I usually have them. Yeah,
Have you
I
noticed
probably
any
do about
improvement?
8 scoops a day, actually.
That's good.
I mean,
That's about what I do.
okay.
Have you noticed an improvement, like the way you just feel?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like
dude,
I know whenever if I forget and don't take aminos throughout the day, like I'll be kind of sluggish about it. Even like, what's the matter with me? I'm like, oh, I didn't eat enough.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I mean, not to interrupt what you're
Yeah.
about to say too, but like we're only talking about what they do with muscle building, but they have other functions
Oh
too.
my God! Essential
Everything.
aminos is your body. That's what.
Yeah, your
and
skin,
that's
your
why you use
nails,
essential
your
and not
liver,
just branch
yeah.
chains. So
I never-
branch chain aminos are in the muscle.
Yeah.
Essential aminos are all in your body. The protein in your muscle is essential branch chains, 3, but the rest of your body is essential, and that's why.
And when they're in there, they get delegated out. It's like going to a station and getting delegated out. This goes to your liver. This goes to your
Yep.
heart. This goes to your connective tissue. This goes to your cartilage. This
Mhm.
goes to your brain. This goes to your skin. This goes to your bones. Like that's what essential chains do. They get delegated out to do work.
Yep.
When we were at Blade Show, I came in the booth and I like felt hanging. I hadn't even drank. I hadn't been drinking at all, other than maybe one drink at dinner. I wasn't drunk. I felt fucking hungover, like I was just fucked
Tired.
up. And you're like, dude, have you had any aminos? I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I'm drinking some water. You're like, put the aminos in there.
Mhm.
I put in a scoop of 187, 2 scoops of aminos. 15 minutes
Yeah,
later,
you
you're like,
came
how
back-
do you feel? I'm like, dude, I didn't think about it, but I feel like I'm fine.
Yeah.
I feel fucking 99%.
And that tells you 100% you are malnourished in one of those factors. One of the products in the aminos your body was deficient in.
Dude, I don't drink water without aminos in it. Like literally, if I'm drinking water and I use a Starbucks cup all day so I can see what's in it. I know my
Yeah.
volume. I try to use a bigger straw. I don't like the little Starbucks straws
Yeah.
because they're too skinny. I like a big fat McDonald's straw, even
Yeah.
though I don't go to McDonald's, because I fucking volumize more.
Yep.
If I'm drinking, and I have this with me all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm down there sewing, when I'm back and forth,
Every time I've been
I'm
here,
fucking
you've had
constantly
that same thing.
drinking.
Every time.
just like Cy and his fucking tea, his cup tea from Duck Commander. But I always have aminos in there. If I'm drinking water, I might as well fucking have the rest of it with it. Plus, it tastes good. That's the biggest thing. I can put those fucking flavored drops in there. There's nothing in them other than taste. This fucking tastes good and gives me anything else that I could use.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, I only fast for, whatever it is, 20 hours or something like that. But like when I'm drinking this stuff, I could go easily a day,
Yep.
a day and a half, 2 days,
That's what I was
because
telling
I'm not
you.
hungry when I
I
have it.
fast once a month for 12 hours when I sleep in on the weekend. But when I gotta get up and pee, should I go ahead and just take some protein?
Well, it all depends on where you're at in your plan and where we're trying to go. So I have a lot of guys that are trying to get in more nutrients. They're like, say if you're trying to build muscle. Now, if you're trying to build muscle and you're getting up to pee and you've kind of maxed out all you can eat during the day, why not? Go ahead and have a shake. If there's no fat and no sugar in it, you're not going to gain fat from it. If anything, you'll just excrete some of it.
I find that if I do, sometimes I'm literally too tired and too lazy to take the shake. I don't want to shake it up. I got to pee so bad, and I'm looking forward to that 4 more hours of sleep.
Yeah.
But if I do take the shake, I sleep better that 4 hours.
You gotta have them all pre-made.
I do.
Because again, you're deficient.
I told him that. I said,
You get
sit one
deficient.
by your bed.
But if I leave them shook up, then it's nasty.
Well, it's not supposed to taste good. This
Well, the
isn't for.
aminos aren't.
Yeah, this isn't because it's going to be like, yeah, this is yummy. And this is because you'll sleep better, and when you wake up, you'll feel better than you would have had you not done
But
it.
I like my food to taste good.
It's overrated.
I know you use those, but the ones with the blender ball in it, like the ones we make,
No, for protein for
for
sure.
protein, but
Yeah.
even with aminos, if it's in the middle of the night, and I usually do the same thing, I'll leave one, and I'll put like 2
I have this
scoops.
on my nightstand. Like if I wake up and I'm
You
thirsty,
just drink it.
I sip a couple times through the night. I'll drink when I get up to pee. I'll drink some water,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I'm talking about
Oh,
2
you're
scoops.
talking about like a
I'm talking
champ
about
shake.
2 scoops of protein.
Like calories.
I'm talking, yeah.
Okay.
Like if I get up in the middle of the night and I fucking have 2 scoops of this, or even before this, any protein, I would get up anytime I pee in the middle of the night. I would take protein.
Yeah.
I had a timer set every hour. I would take protein, only 1 scoop, because I wasn't fucking eating nearly
Yeah.
enough anyways. But I would sleep better
When did you do that?
before I met you.
Before you met me?
Yeah, well, 2 years ago
Yeah.
probably.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I didn't have testosterone. I didn't have
Yeah.
it, but I lost a shitload of fucking
Yeah.
body fat. I was lower body fat than I'd ever been.
Well, every time you take protein, your metabolism goes up.
But I was eating literally. I had a timer every fucking hour.
Just drink shit.
Scoop of protein. Scoop of
That's
protein.
awesome.
Scoop of protein.
That's awesome.
I lived off fucking protein powder.
And with what's the formula in there, which I'm not going to give the exact percentages, but it's the isolate, the casein, and the glutamine. I'm a big believer in glutamine. I've never seen glutamine not work. And
It's
I
one of
got,
the few proven
man,
things.
I got really big into glutamine. I trained a guy for years that was one of the leading oncologists in all of the world. This guy he is a genius. He's not practicing anymore because he's retired. But this guy was telling about how they did the IV with glutamine. He get all his cancer patients. He supplemented with glutamine. I mean, we would sit down and have conversations that most time, if it wasn't me or him, somebody else having to listen, they would have to have a damn dictionary to figure out what we're saying. But this guy was an absolute genius, and I was very fortunate to spend a lot of time with him, and he educated me beyond belief. I learned more from him than I learned in probably a couple of collegiate classes. But he was so far ahead of his domain, so to speak. When he was a doctor, that's why he was the best. I mean, this is the kind of guy that fly to work on a Pope or something. You know, he's a genius, and he was a big believer in supplements. Because when you've got cancer and you're stage 4 and you're dying, you need to try stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's
over
about the time.
years, he was like, you know, we've been using this for recovery and with athletes. And this guy played football for Barrett Bryant. So, and that's pretty impressive. So, hey, we used all this with all athletes. We want to work with this. And he figured it out, man. He figured it out.
Is there anything besides the? I pretty much do coffee in the morning when I first wake up.
Yeah.
Because I have like an hour and a half drive, so it's like I could take some energy drink or pill, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I like the coffee because I can work on it like the most of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives you
And
something
then
to
you know I have aminos when I first wake up, and then I drink the coffee, and then I have aminos a couple hours later, aminos a couple hours later, and then eventually I'll eat. But is there any other sort of like?
So a way you can modify that is, so I don't know what time. So what time do you wake up and what time do you typically drink your aminos?
I'll wake up at like 5.
Okay.
And then drink, like, that's the first thing I do because I always feel dehydrated when I wake up in the morning.
'Cause you
So
are.
I'll put, actually what I'll do is I'll do 1 scoop and then like a full like 32-ounce blender
Yeah.
bottle, drink the whole thing, and then do another scoop, put a whole 32-ounce. So I'm
You get
pounding the
64
water.
ounces. That's
Yeah.
almost half a gallon.
Dude, I'm telling you, like,
When you
I
first wake
feel
up?
way better. Now,
Wow.
what happens is from Nashville to here, you have to stop 2 times.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, and then I work on a coffee on the way here.
Do you use high alkaline water? You ever tried that?
No, I just use...
So this is, I don't know who made, I think this is the one Puff Daddy endorses or whatever, but it's a pH 9+. You switch to high alkaline water because you are dehydrated. It's the molecule shape is different. Regular water's a cluster. This actually has a shape. Osmosis is easier, travels in and out of the cell easier, fights disease, increases immune system. Alkaline water does a lot. Just if you Google it, of course, you know some people say, it don't make a difference. It's like, okay, whatever. But all the other people in the world says it does.
Right.
What I would, if I was you, because you're so dehydrated, the first thing I would do in that big drink is I would have like, I would probably do half a scoop of SF-187, a scoop of Vaso, and a scoop of amino. So you have all your antioxidants, a few very small amount of stimulants with just half a scoop, but you have a massive vasodilator. And
Interesting.
the Vaso also pulls water into the cell. Because
Okay.
it's got hydromass glycerol. But if you just do 1 scoop first thing in the morning, then hit other water behind it, you're going to hydrate faster.
Okay.
And probably have less, you want to use as much salt and stuff during the day.
Right.
And then your next one, which would be the one you take with you on the drive, you put a whole scoop of the SF and the aminos. Then you wouldn't have to do the coffee. You could, if you just wanted to.
The coffee's more like an enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
like
hot
coffee
and it
too.
takes me a long time to drink
Yeah.
it.
My problem
So-
is with the heat. in the summer, it's sweating.
Oh
Which
yeah.
I'm sure you do. Like you're probably the air conditioner on full blast.
Oh yeah.
Because you're drinking a hot coffee.
But here's the thing though, man, intermittent fasting, one of the advantages that nobody talks about really, at least for me, working in the hot environment all day long, like I'm colder when I'm fasting. I am like body temperature is low. Like I feel colder.
Yeah.
So like I'm out there, I do not feel like what we said earlier. Like when you drink the protein, a lot of times like you're warmer, or your metabolism speeds up and all that kind of stuff. Like I'll notice when I finally do eat at the end of the day, like I'm like, oh
Yeah. It's because
You
you're
know?
not consuming food, your metabolism is slower.
right.
It slows you down.
Which is kind of, I mean, some people look at that as a disadvantage. For me, I'm like working outside in the heat all
It's
day
all on
long.
your goals,
Like
man.
I actually feel
Better.
good.
Mhm.
So
There's a lot. I do intermittent fasting a lot of days, not on purpose, because I look ahead at my schedule and go, okay, this is going to be a hard day. Then I'm going to have, and that's what I do. My first meal is the Vaso, but I do 1 scoop of Vaso, 1 scoop of SF-187 by itself, in like 8 ounces, chug it back, and then I hit the aminos afterwards.
okay,
Because I just want the flavors. I just do it for flavor.
sure.
So I'll do one that's like a cherry limeade flavor, then my next drink will be cotton candy.
Yeah,
It's like just to switch it up.
right.
And then when I get to work, I'll do sometimes I'll take the sugar-free Monster, the white Monster,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, just for something different, and I'll put a scoop of aminos in that and stir it,
Oh,
and
okay.
drink it with a straw. It's like a cherry limeade slushy or
Yeah.
whatever. Or I'll do it with Diet Sprite,
Okay.
just to give me something different, because it'll take me a while to drink it, because I'd be burping because of the carbonation. So as I'm training my first client of the day, I'm sipping that, which is kind of cool.
So you guys don't have any? Do you have bars?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
So what's really popular is like Quest kicked it off, and
Yeah.
now everybody has these approximately 20 grams of protein.
Yeah.
Hopefully not soy. Hopefully actually good protein, and then they throw in an almost equal amount of fiber.
Yeah.
And then limited actual like
Yeah.
impact carbohydrates. So like for years I told people, because they're like, I don't know what my problem is. I'm eating all these protein bars. I'm like, that's your problem.
Yeah.
So but now they have these like super tasty,
They are.
delicious
Apple
bars,
bars are
the fucking
and
Apple
other
one,
companies
holy
are
shit.
are
Yeah.
starting to do it too. So like, do you see that as, or do you see that as
Well,
like bad?
Now it depends on on my client and what their goals are, because John knows I have a wide variety of clients. So like in one day I could see, a doctor, I could see a professional bodybuilder, I could see a guy who's 21 competing in his first competition show coming up, I could see a strongman, I could see a housewife, I could see a high school football coach, and a little league baseball player. All in one day, and they're all totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Quest bars, with some of those people, it's freaking perfect. But if you're trying to get sub 5% body fat, probably not going to have you do Quest bars right there at the end. But if you're like, I want to be, let's say, 8 to 12% body fat, just a pretty good fit, there's no reason you can't use a Quest bar here and there. No reason at all. I eat them.
I mean,
No problem with it.
if I didn't like, if I wasn't careful, like I could eat a whole box just because
Yeah.
they're that good.
Yeah.
I would put a bet that I could eat a box.
Yeah.
I eat 4 in a sitting sometimes when I eat.
Oh yeah.
I want something sweet around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock for
Yep.
something. Like every day, 3, 4
Yep.
o'clock, I want candy or something.
Yeah.
I eat a Cliff Bar, and sometimes I'll have it with a little bit of coffee. But usually the Cliff Bar will be enough. And halfway through the Cliff
The
Bar,
Cliff bar or Quest bar?
Quest Bar, not
Okay,
Cliff Bar, not
I was
cookie.
like,
No, Quest Bar, the apple pie
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I'll get about 2/3 of that thing eat, and it becomes too sweet, and I throw it away.
Yep.
Like it took care
I
of
would
it.
have loved to find a way to make a good protein bar without as many artificial sweeteners. So a lot of the
I
fibers
would
in
add
Quest
chocolate.
bar is coming from the artificial sweeteners.
A lot of the what?
A lot of the fibers.
What is it?
Yes. Because if you look on the ingredients, there's not a whole lot of fiber added in if you break them down.
Mhm.
But there's another guy who makes protein bars. Now they're not as tasty as Quest bars, but they're better for you. It's Perillo, John Perillo, and I ordered his bars for
Oh,
myself too.
What?
He's been around since the 80s.
Yeah, right.
He's an old school guy. I learned a lot from him. My dad got hooked up with him in the early 80s. I've known him since I was this big. He's one of the guys who originated the 9-site body fat test. He's the one who taught me. He taught my dad, and my dad taught his seminars, and I was doing 9-site body fat test in
Colin
99.
wanted you to test him, see where he's at.
Colin? I didn't bring him. I didn't know.
Yeah, but you're calibrated. I'm just looking.
Oh, I could look at, yeah. I can guess.
I go,
pinch him.
we saw him do
Hey,
it.
at the Blake,
you
at
know,
the
we
Blake
can
show,
look at you and tell you.
I was blowing people away. They're like, what's my body fat? And I was like, 16.
37%.
Yeah, 30, whatever. And then they're like, well, let's test and see. And it'd be like 16.3. They're like, son of. And then I'll say, what do you weigh? 196? And they're like, I don't know, 17. 196 and a half. They're like, this is weird. And I'm like, well, I've done. Like when you go to Six Flags and you go to these little parks, they guess the weight and all that. I always win. Since I was like 10 years old, because all I knew is this. I've never done anything else. I'd always win. I've been prize. It's so cool.
Nice.
But now it actually pays off because it's part of my job. Then it was cool. It's like a little stuffed animal or a baseball or whatever.
I kind of wish like Quest bars didn't taste
Now
as good.
motherfuckers give you $500 knives and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Guess
yeah.
my weight.
We'll put that on show on video.
Yeah, you can
Heck yeah.
So the story behind the Strider knife was
Two Strider knives.
two Strider knives,
Custom,
knives.
Mick and Dwayne.
I only own one knife for the blade show. It was a zero tolerance, a really good knife is
Good
all
knife.
I have. I don't have a lot of stuff.
He's a knife fag.
Your knife, well,
Come on.
better than
Nice
being a
way
real
to explain
fan.
it.
Gayforknives.com.
That might hurt. So I sat down with Mick, kind of talked about his goals or whatever. He said, I trained for this long, I've had some injuries, and then this and that. Can you help me? I was like, easy. I mean, if you can follow the plan.
And both those dudes are fucking very good clients. Like
Yes.
both those dudes will take what you say, and they'll do it.
And
They'll be easy.
he was like, what all do I need? So I had most of my stuff there. I was like, you need two of this, two of this, two of this. I was like, here's what I want you to do. You never took my stuff. You don't know me. You only know of me. And I was like, I'm confident in my stuff. I'm not confident in a lot of things, but what I have, because of third-party tests and the years and stuff, I said, I'm going to give it to you. I want you to do this for a month. Then you let me know how it works. And if it works, and you're impressed, we'll go from there. I was like, because I charge a lot of money for online training. I mean, the best news would be if you say, hey, I can fly you out once every 2 months. I need you to spend one day, then I'm going to fly you back. Then I'll come out once every 2 months. I'll have 4 or 5 clients set up. I'll take care of all 4 or 5 on there, and I'll come back. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, how much do I owe you? I said, nothing. I said, you're good with John. John's done a lot of things for me, a lot. And I said, take this stuff for a month. That's all I want you to do. And then I want an honest opinion. I said, I don't want any bullshit. If it don't work, you say, Justin, your stuff is terrible. It don't work. It tastes crappy. And then you put it on the internet, and I'll just close my shop. I'll be done. He's like, no, you're not giving me stuff for free. So he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out. Again, I have one knife to my name. And he pulls it out and gives it to me. And I'm like, but first I thought he was just showing it to me.
Right.
He was like, here, check this out. And I was like, wow.
Justin's new to the knife industry, this kind of shit.
I didn't know.
Well, that's a heck of a way to start.
Like Justin's the man with what Justin does, but like we just took him to a fucking car dealership and somebody gave him a Ferrari. Like he didn't have a Corvette or a Mustang or none of that shit. He didn't even know.
And I was like, wow, that's not. He's like, yeah, I made that custom for myself to carry at the blade show.
It's got a PVD blade. It's fucking.
And I was like, wow, man, that's awesome. And I was like, cool. I handed it back. He's like, no. He said, that's yours. And John was there. I was like, no, I'm not taking your knife. He's like, I'm not used to people.
I go, did Mick just give you that? He goes, yeah. I go, you better put that in your fucking pocket right
Yeah,
now.
right.
And then I was like,
There'll be
wow.
dudes wanting to wrestle you for it.
Oh, for sure.
I love the knife. It's freaking incredible. And so it was kind of a shock.
Same pina colada?
Yes.
Pina colada. But I was like, man, thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, I've had more stuff given to me, and like every time I'm around him than I've had in my whole life. Nobody's ever given me shit. Like on my birthday, I'd be lucky to get a card sometimes the last few years or whatever.
I'll send you
So,
a card.
I'll get a card from him.
I'll send you a stripogram.
Send me a
From
stripogram.
a dude. You want a skinny dude or you want a bodybuilder dude?
On the dad bod.
A dad bod.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like a unisuit? Like
Yeah.
a Sansa belt?
And
You think I won't get a fat stripper to come to your shop?
I got cameras and locks on all the doors, so I won't go to
There'll be goddamn Santa Claus up in there. So Dwayne,
yeah,
Nick,
and then so Dwayne was standing there, and he comes up, and I just met Dwayne. I kind of figured out that they were all together because when I
it's
met,
funny because like he took care of Dwayne, hooked Dwayne up, and he's like, so how do you know these Strider guys?
yeah, I didn't
Like
know
he
they were all
didn't know
together.
Dwayne owned fucking
Mhm.
half a Strider. Like he took care of him because he was one of their guys.
Right.
He didn't know he was the guy.
Right.
When I first met him, I thought, so he's had the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu shirts on, the fighting stuff. I said, okay, this guy's obviously a fighter. He knows his stuff. We kind of talked a little bit, and I went away, and then we talked a little bit.
And Dwayne fights. Like Dwayne competes. He runs a huge children's program for Gracie's.
Yeah.
And he's in magazines. Like, he's in fucking supplement ads and different shit. Like, he's their fucking poster boy.
And the questions he was asking, like, was the right questions. And that
I was kind of impressed.
I liked
some of the shit he was asking.
Some of the stuff he was saying was like, I'm going to get along with this guy. When I first met him, so he's like, well, I take this for my joints. And I was like, oh, yeah. Well,
he was feeling you out to see.
And that's probably what he was doing. What he was checking to see if I was full of shit or not. And I was like, dude, I got.
It's like glucosamine. Fucking your body can't absorb it. The molecule's too big. Your intestine won't fucking pick it up. You got to use this other shit.
And the main thing was, we were talking. I was like, people never take enough. I was like, they dose what 2 grams or whatever. He's like, yeah, I take this. And I was like, yeah, you have to take between this and this. He's like, dude, that's exactly right. But nobody knows that. I was like, no, that's because the world's a bunch of idiots with certified trainers out there training everybody. That's just making people worse.
Or because the people selling it have to fucking, to put the correct dosage in, have to price their product out of their market.
Yep, you're exactly right.
And they need to make money on every product, whereas Justin will have products that he doesn't make money on, and he's making enough money on another product, he can afford to fucking sell us this other one just above his cost.
Right.
Like your organ support
Yep,
stuff.
and that's what I do. I mean, and a lot of times, it may be where the only reason I can have my products is because I've got 10 people paying me for my knowledge to do their custom training. You know, I may have a day, weeks of supplement sales that freaking break me even. But during those weeks, I did 6 diet plans that, you know what I'm saying.
Plus, a lot of your product, you designed your products because you wanted them.
Yeah.
The same reason we have products we make, we didn't make them because we wanted to bring them to market. We made them because I wanted them or one of my guys wanted them, and as a byproduct, we were able to bring it to market.
Yep, and that's the best way to do it. Just
So,
put everything into it.
Back to the Dwayne and the...
Oh, yeah, so
night.
Dwayne's in there, he was like, after we talked a few times, he's like, dude, I want you to help me. I've got this fight in October. He's like, man, I could help you, no problem. I said, you're probably, 8% body fat or whatever I said. He's like, oh, you think so? I was like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I was like, let me get my computer. I pulled my shit out. We're up at Blade Show. There's people in line waiting to talk to me.
Fucking White Ken, Blackneck.
Yep, and Ken too.
He was doing body fat tests.
I checked his body fat, and Dwayne's like, holy shit, you were exactly right. And I'm like,
what was Dwayne's body fat?
I can't remember. It was like 8 or 10. It was low. It was low.
That's fucking awesome.
And so I got him. I got Mitch's program done and sent. I got Ken's, and then Ken's like, I want the same thing. He's like,
Ken's a good dude.
I train all the time. I need to be better. I was like, okay, and he had limited equipment because he works at home right now. So I got all their programs done this last week. Emailed it to him. I did Mix, and then I do Dwayne's next, and then I got Bird's next. But I got an email from Mick today, and he was like, dude, I was like, oh my God. He had a water something tear up. He hadn't been able to start his program yet. He was like, man, I'm going to get on this as soon as I can. Had an emergency move. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, they had some water line or something.
23,000 gallons.
Yeah, they had to tear the driveway out and shit.
Yep.
Amanda was telling me about.
Wow, that sucks. But it was really cool, man. I did not expect Blade Show to be like it was. I didn't think nobody knew me. I was like, I'm hanging out with these guys. They're cool. And John, I mean, you took care of me, man. I greatly appreciate everything you did. And I even tried to pay for my stuff. He's like, no. I was like, no, I got mine. And he's like, no, you don't. And the man's like, shut up. And Colin's like, look, just quit trying. He's not going to let you. Which, again, is stuff I'm not used to.
Right.
I'm usually the guy that is just sitting on the end, taking care of myself. Everybody else takes care of their own, which was really cool. It's like
time for that to change.
I loved it. Had a great time, but people were. Well, we drove all the way from North Carolina to meet you. I don't even own the knife.
Dude, isn't that weird?
I was like, hold on a second.
Like they're not even at the show for the knife stuff.
There was, I'd probably say 10 to 20 people, as in sets of people, not individually, because there was a couple people together. And I was like, what? They're like, you're Justin Swinney, right? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, we came here to meet you. It's like,
we see you in the videos.
I know nothing about any of this
follow you
stuff.
on Facebook.
We know SOE and we know you. And I was like, is this a joke? Because the first person that did it, I said, whatever. I'm like,
he thought we were fucking with him.
I thought, yeah, I was like, somebody's pulling some shit on me. I was like, this is cool, but it's not funny.
Right.
But they're like, no, really. And then, because I would have some people ask me questions. They would just stand and wait and be very polite, very courteous. And I'm like, these people are just staring. I'm like, is everything okay? I'm like, is there something on my face? I'm like, I look stupid. And they would come up and say that, and I'm like, wow. And then a lot of people would come, because I had little samples. I'd get a sample. They'd circle around, drink it, come back home to.
And there's this asshole. I don't think your products will work for me. Justin was cool because like I wanted to knife hand him in the throat and go, "You're right, because we're not gonna let you fucking have any of it."
Right.
But Justin, he's diplomatic, and he's like, "We'll take this, walk around the show. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. You drank something, tasted good. It didn't work for you. I never see you again. If you like it, come back and tell me." And fucking every fucking one of them came back and bought shit.
I had a few people that were, of course, they were the ones that had the shirt that was like rolled up. And they were
The
like,
little brother's shirt.
yeah, they're coming up here. I bet your shit won't work for me.
Right. I never had a problem building muscle without this. You know.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you're flexing as hard as you can. You got a small shirt, and I said, I can train 1 day a month and look better than you.
I just saw you doing push-ups around the corner.
Yeah, and usually, but I was, you know, I've always learned that's like an insecurity issue.
Right.
We all have insecurities,
Right.
everybody. But when a guy does something like that, he's either been inferior at one time in his life, so he's picked on earlier. He's got problems. And he's like, I don't think, you know, I take this or this. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, try my stuff, man. If you don't like it, tell me. I will try to fix it for you. I will go out of my way to try to make a better product. And then when I act like that, they kind of go a different tone.
Right.
They're like, oh, this guy's not trying to defend his stuff. He's trying to be humble, which
Right.
is what I am. I'm humble about all my stuff. If anybody don't like it, tell me.
Right.
And every one of those dudes came back.
Mm-hmm.
And they were totally different when they come back. Usually they would buy something, and then the next day they bought more, which was so cool. But the experience, I don't even know how to describe the experience of Blade Show.
It was just fun.
It was out of this world.
It's a whole nother realm where you can cross industry into something else that you're interested into and just have a good time. Like it's like, well, you saw how many dudes were like, how's your show going? Like I have no idea how our show's going. I know we brought a bunch of shit. It looks like we have a lot less of it. I don't know what sales are. We're out here to meet you.
Yep.
And as soon as you told them that, they're kind of at ease. You know, they come in and they're not sure who they're talking to. They see us in videos and shit, and they don't realize that this is us. Like this is really how shit is. When we turn that camera off, we're still laughing, we're still bullshitting, we're still calling him a knife bag, and still calling him Justin and Justin.
Yeah.
And we just have fun, man. And when they realize they can walk up and be a part of that, it's like a family. They feel at ease. They feel safe there. Whereas they're walking around, you got all the other Billy badasses in the show, and everybody's fucking sizing each other up, and you know, what knife you got, what knife you got. They can come into our booth and just fucking be at peace.
Yep.
And just fucking talk about whatever we want to talk about. We don't have to talk about SOE gear. We don't have to talk about Sweeney products. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're here for you today.